It became a standard campfire song for whites and tent revivals and summer camps. It enjoyed a broader popularity during the folk revival of the 1950s and 1960s. The problem is the song that whites would translate as "Come By Here" is really "Kumbaya."
Kumbaya, 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 kumbaya.
Come by here, y'all. The time is of essence. They hear it in our message. You have revealed to us the blessing that comes after the testing. Toda, y'all. Toda, y'all. We are waiting on the Exodus, praying for the rest of us. It shall be greater than the first, for the captivity is the worst. Come by here, y'all. You are our strong tower, for we know not the hour. You are our power. Our enemies you devour. Come by here, y'all. In a time of darkness, the world is heartless. Missing kids on cart. Who would have thought this? Come by here, y'all. You are in control. You got the nations on hold. The wicked must...
What is that? The song is not "Come By Here," but "Come Here, Yah," a plea for deliverance from the captors. Hebrew words and traditions are not only found in the language and culture of the Gola people of South Carolina and Georgia, but also throughout the African diaspora. Even the very names of slaves prior to the changing that took place at purchase had Hebrew origin. The Hebrew people will often surname themselves after the God they serve. This is how we got names like Jeremiah, Nehemiah, Saraiah, Yekoniah, Hezekiah, etc. All naming themselves after Yah. If you ever took the time to scroll through the slave ledgers and look at the names that the slaves had before they were changed, you will find that most were Hebrew. If you're not familiar with Elohim of the Hebrews, maybe this script will help you. Psalm 68:4. Sing to Elohim, sing praises unto his name, extol him that rideth upon the heavens, by his name, Yah, and rejoice before him. See, not only will you find indigenous Hebrew names in the slave trade database, aka names are rather Yah or El as a prefix or suffix, you will even find the pronunciation of the name Yah hidden in some of the names of the countries where people will take it from, like Kenya, Algeria, Libya, Eritrea, Tunisia, Zambia, Namibia, Gambia, etc. Even the territory of South Africa, before Europeans dubbed it South Africa, was called in ancient times Azania. So how is that relevant? Well, the name is actually in the Bible. The name Azania, according to the Smith Bible Dictionary, means Azania, whom the Lord hears, the father or immediate ancestor of Yeshua the Levite in the time of Nehemiah. Even the Strong's Concordance reads as Azaniah from H238 and H3050, heard by Yah, Azaniah, an Israelite. See, even in the Kakongo family of Bantu languages, God is sometimes referred to as Yahweh or Yahweh. In Hebrew, Ab or Abba means father, and Yah is the name of God. So Yahweh means Yah is my father, or Yah is the father. The name Yah holds so much weight among certain Bantu tribes that they even named their elders Yah or Yah. This is how scholars and researchers who were searching for the lost tribes of Israel came to certain conclusions about Africa. For example, Dr. Alan H. Gabi, professor of divinity and Old Testament studies at Duke University, whose studies in search of the lost tribes led him to West, Central, and South Africa, which actually moved him to publish a work called The Lost Tribes of Myth, a suggestion towards rewriting Hebrew history. Garvey penned a map in his book showing the locations of Hebrew tribes in Africa. As you see, the Landa Jews, the Mavumbu Jews, the Santome Jews, B'nai Ephraim, the Dahomey Jews, the Jewish Kingdom of Ghana, Lam, Levite cities, etc. But then near the Congo, he writes, pre-exile Yahwism. Yahwism? What's Yahwism? Well, Yahwism, as dubbed by Europeans, is the worship of Yahuwah in the ancient Israelite kingdoms of Judah and Israel. In a critical review of Garvey's book by the University of Chicago Press, Solomon B. Freehoff wrote the following in the Journal of Religion. The quote, "Lost tribes?" question is only a point of departure for a detailed study of Hebrew origins, Jewish dispersion, and worldwide propaganda for Yahweh worship, and the question of racial integrity of the Jews. Freehoff goes on to write, there was a steady propaganda for Yahweh worship all through the ages, all over the ancient world, through Palestinian trade colonies and military settlements. Thus, most of North Africa, the whole Sahara region, Berber, Agal, and Negro became Yahweh worshippers and considered themselves B'nai Israel, the sons of Israel, or Philistim, Palestine. So if Yah is the God of the Bible, and the Bible commands to worship by his name, quote, sing unto Elohim, sing praises to his name, extol him that ride upon the heavens by his name, Yah. Remember? Then the question you gotta ask yourself is, why is that name only connected to Yah? Remember? Then the question you gotta ask yourself is, why is that name only connected to Africa? And how did these people worship and know the name of the God of the Bible without the Bible? Now you might understand the title of Garvey's book, The Lost Tribes of Myth, a suggestion towards rewriting Hebrew history.